Hi, welcome to Perfecting Your Craft. My name is Dearest Craig, and I'm here with some of my creative friends. And we're just going to talk to you guys about industry, whether you are a singer, songwriter, musician, artist, a creative of any shape or form. We just want to share tips to help you be successful in your career, however that may look. Darrion, you want to introduce yourself?
Yes, hi, I'm Darrion, and I'm also known as Deda. I'm the founder of Before the Blow Up, where I promote artists, and I do interviews, and we have a good time. And I really just care about supporting local artists and artists that I know are going to blow up, and I think everyone else should be able to, get a glimpse of how their life is going as, somebody that's going to blow up. So that is what I do.
That's good stuff. Do you want to introduce yourself as well?
Yes, so my name is Brittany, and speaking of Before the Blow Up, my artist name is SISTA, and I've started to journey on becoming a spoken word artist. And Dearest is my producer, so I'm excited.
Yes, and I wanted to make sure that we were featuring different people, not just people in the music industry, but in other creative fields, because we wanted that interplay of different perspectives. Right. So we'll probably have more guests as well to come in as this show continues on. But today we're just going to be talking about what does it mean to be an artist? What does it mean to find your identity as an artist? And what does that look like? So I'm going to let Darrion start off, just kind of sharing her experience with finding your identity. How do you find your identity creatively? What did that look like for you?
Man, that's a lot. That's actually like the biggest thing, I think, when it comes to becoming an artist. Like, hey, I know that I can sing, I can rap, and I have this talent, but now what do you do with it? And like, who do you want to be known as? That's like summing up yourself within a brand, and that is the hardest thing to do. And so for me, I think dealing with a lot of artists, and I don't know, just discovering yourself and discovering what you like and what you want to represent is like the biggest thing. So it's difficult, and it takes time, and it's not to be rushed, but it is to be focused on. And I think that's like 99% of the problem when you become an artist. So I definitely think it's very, very, very important.
Right. I'm just going to quickly share my experiences with it, both as a musician and artist trying to discover my own identity, and also being a producer working with other artists as they try to find their own identity. It's all about knowing who you are, being comfortable with who you are, and there's nothing wrong with finding inspiration from other people that you see doing something that you want to do, but you have to find the best way to identify what makes you different, what makes you unique. And I think that's some of the issue that I ran into as a younger creative and musician, and then also dealing with other artists who were still trying to figure out their identity and who they wanted to be, is that it can create a lot of insecurity and frustration in the artists. We're going to get into all of it. We're going to dig deep. But I would say I heard something really interesting the other day, that one way you can kind of find a way to create your own identity is find two different things. Like one person that you look up to, what they do, how do you relate to them, and then find another person. And the thing about it is they have to be totally opposite things that you might not even put together. So I'll use myself as an example. Most people know me from the gospel arena, from church, playing, being a musician, producer, songwriter. I look up to Twinkie Clark. That was one of the first people that I listened to when I first started playing. Twinkie Clark from the Clark Sisters movie. My opposite, totally unrelated thing, I'm a very, 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 very big fan of Thundercat, which is like a bass musician, and just has nothing to do with gospel. Really creative sound, really creative with his music. And to me, that's a mixture of who I am, because I also love to listen to other genres as well. And I feel that I'm very creative with my music and my approach to music. So that helped me a lot to understand it's okay to be different. It's okay to have different influences, but you don't want to be one-dimensional. So if you're trying to find that other little thing that makes you pop out and be unique, that's one thing that can help you. So you want to share your experience as well?
My experience more so as an emerging artist is really, as you said, finding your craft, finding who you are, that identity, and to just be 100% transparent. I've been stuck in the low confidence area, meaning I feel like I know what I want to say. Affirmations for me have really helped me become who I am today, and a part of how I got into this room, right? Because I feel like every room is an opportunity. So
talk about it.
I've affirmed myself and self-coached myself to even be here today. But how do I then and I feel like God has given me a gift of words, right, and expressing. But how do I take that knowledge of the gift that God has given me and the passion to inspire women to affirm themselves, how I've had to affirm myself, and use it and really birth it into something as far as an album, to where women can just, when you have those low days, right, or those moments when you're really second guessing yourself, I want to create an atmosphere for women to just press play and be able to affirm themselves, whatever their dream is.
I'm so excited about what
So
it's going to be really awesome when it comes out.
Yes.
But yeah, it's all about finding what is your niche. What is something that you can bring to the table or bring to the world that maybe somebody else hasn't done before. It is very difficult to do. It's very difficult to find a way to make yourself stand out. But once you do that, the possibilities are limitless, because you've already made yourself unique in a sea of same. So that's one of the things that you can really use to set yourself apart. What does identity crisis look like for you in terms of when you see an artist and they're struggling to find that? How does that look?
Well, I'll tell you, my goal was to become an artist. So I went to school and I was like, I'm going to be an engineer, and I'm going to be my own engineer, and I'm going to be an artist and all this great stuff. The biggest thing for me was I struggled with having a personality because of the fact that I was going through an identity crisis. And it was more so of what you said. Like, you have two influential people that do totally opposite things, but it's kind of like in between there is you. Me, I should have known that back then, because I was more focused on, like, I know that I'm supposed to encourage people, and I love God and all this stuff, but I love R&B, and I love, the love that comes from that type of music. You can, I don't know, it just does something to me when you're listening to it. And that can make you unique. And so, to me, I felt like I had to choose between, and in the middle, I was stuck with no personality, because I was, like, denying both sides, because I didn't want to create, because once you create music, people, you find the people that like your music, they're going to want to keep, they want you to keep making that. So I was stuck in between, like, if I start making worship and praise music, and I cannot go over here and make a song about love and all this stuff that has nothing to do with God. And so I was like, man, can't do it. I can't do anything. I was stuck. And to be totally honest, what you said about having confidence is the biggest thing. If I had confidence in myself, I could have literally did what I wanted to do. Personally, I feel like if you're an artist, and you're going through an identity crisis, the first thing I would do is, like, wipe out any opinions on your craft, because the first thing that literally killed my dreams was people's opinion and people's advice. Because I had people over here telling me, you got to do it for the love of God, and He gave you the gift, and da da da. I had people over here telling me, no, you do what you want to do, and you can do anything you want to do, which was right, but also they wanted me to sing certain things that wasn't something I wanted to do. So I feel like taking away people's opinion and being confident and knowing, like, even if you do, it's good to have good counsel and people to give you sound advice, but if you're not confident, you're going to take anything Don't take anything. Get rid of everything. If you're not confident, take all of that away. Take everybody's opinion away, and then focus on, like she said, finding maybe two opposites that you like, and then find your place in that. But do not go listening to the people who love you, your family, all that stuff. And don't go listening to people who are trying to pimp your gift or trying to pimp your artistry, because they will do that too. So
that's the whole word.
To me, I just confidence is key, and knowing yourself and really just trying to, what do you want to do?
Mm-hmm. And I want to piggyback on that. I think when you do have the confidence, sometimes you seek outside validation as far as from, like you said, those loved ones. And I'm just learning that, when God only gives you the vision, it's really hard to try to even express that to someone else. Mm-hmm. So other people are not going to get it, And so you really have to take a deeper dive within your level of confidence to say, you may not get this now. You'll get it later.
That's a word too.
You'll get it later.
The vision wasn't for everybody. It was literally just for you. And nobody's going to see that. And the people who love you the most will be your biggest, the biggest battles that you're going to face. If you talk about what the vision is too, with people who can't understand the vision, you're going to put yourself into a bigger issue or a bigger battle, because then you're like, dang, I don't want to do that now because they said, Identity crisis, I think, starts with, like you said, confidence. Figure that out.
Yeah. Let me say this real quick. There's two different things that I was thinking about while you all were talking. So the first thing is sometimes we can build this idea of ourselves, what we should be in the mind, by watching others that we look up to. It's well-meaning in the intention. You want to find someone that is doing what you want to do, so you have an idea, a blueprint of what to follow.
Yeah.
But I've had artists that were so fixated on trying to be the next fill in the blank that they were so insecure in themselves when it came to the creation process. And for me, it's the most difficult working with an insecure artist if they are allowing, it has to be like this person to dictate what they're doing with their artistry. Yeah. That's one thing. The other thing, to tie on to what you just said about others, I had a particular situation where someone was totally cool with everything that we were doing, and then all of a sudden it was not good enough. They were saying they were unhappy with it, and like everything had already been approved, done, finalized. And it was confusing because we were like, okay, what is the issue? But not realizing someone else had gotten into their ear and told them that there was something wrong with what they were doing. Although they had been happy with it in the beginning, they allowed that doubt to creep in from other people who they were maybe not as qualified to say what quality was. And then it just snowballed from there. And you had people that were qualified, done artists, industry, music, all this stuff, years in the industry, and they were all trying to kind of communicate the same things, like, it's fine, there's nothing wrong with it. What's the issue? But when some people get so stuck in their head of the fear of judgment, fear of rejection, fear of people not liking it, and they allow that one person to influence them into thinking something is not right, it can totally derail what they were setting out to accomplish. So you have to be careful about that as well. Outside influences that you're thinking, I'm coming to this person for advice or counsel, but are they qualified to weigh in? That's a whole nother story.
Okay. Because you cannot. I have this analogy. It may not make sense. I have two, where one is just like, okay, are we going to go to the dentist when we have any heart problems? Are we going to go to a baker to make us a Christmas toy? Are we going to go to them to, I don't know, make us some logos for our shirts? No, you go to the right people for that.
Wow.
You have to have the right people, not the people who have been there, like you looked up to them. This your mom, this your dad. These are your aunts and uncles who maybe, let's say they're successful 9-to-5ers, or they're successful in their own like type of entrepreneurial whatever. But if they are not in any type of creativity, why are they telling you how to be creative? They don't have, and it's not that they don't love you, and it's not that they don't want to see you do well. They're not hating on you. It's just they're doing the best, and they're giving you the best advice that they can with the knowledge that they have. Mm-hmm. And if they're not knowledgeable, or if they've never went through the things that you're struggling with, how can they help you? So they're not going to send you off to like the world and be like, I don't know how to help you. No, they're going to give you the advice because they're scared for you, for one, because it takes a lot to become an artist and really just an entrepreneur, period. So if they're not in that mindset, you're scaring them, and they want to do what's best for you, and they don't know how to help you, honestly. So yeah, they have to be qualified. Find somebody who is, like she said, doing what you want to do. That doesn't mean everything has to kind of be copied, and that doesn't mean everything that person in particular tells you is you got to follow it. But no, find people in the area or the field that you're wanting to be in. Watch how they work.
Mentors are crucial.
Yes. And to find a good one, or really just when that clicks, that's when you start to say, hey, I got something I want to send to you. What do you think about this? Then that's when you can get some real sound advice. And they're not going to tell you throw the whole thing away. They're going to say, maybe you need to work on this a little bit more. And then you start working on your development. Not, no, that's not right. You don't need to do this at all. Like that's... You see what I'm saying?
I'm gonna just jump in on what she just said because that's so key. A lot of people question, well, how did you get the placement, song placement? How did you do all the things that you're doing now? I could tell you 100% without a doubt, if I had not had mentors who were solid in their craft, beating me over the head every time I made a mistake, I would not have been able to advance as quickly as I did. Because you have to be open to criticism. You have to be open to someone telling you, hey, this ain't right. This is trash. You have to have thick skin and know sometimes people are telling you because it's a tough love thing. They're trying to let you know because they want you to do well. They want you to succeed. And you have to be able to take whatever constructive criticism they're giving to you. Yeah. Okay, I'm not going to take this and curl up in the ball and die because they said this. But what can I take out of what they're telling me and use it to improve next time? Every time I did a project, every time I identified or someone else showed me how it could be better, I took that. I was like, I'll never make that mistake again if I can help it. And that's how I continue to grow. Yeah. So, did you have anything you wanted to share on that?
I think maybe just be vulnerable, because I know I came to you, and those are different topics, but when I initially got introduced with Darrion, I had tracks that I'd written and pre-recorded, and as time went by, I thought of I wanted something more from the relationship, not just for her to produce the album, and I talked to her, and I was just vulnerable, and I was like, I need to develop myself as an artist. Will you help me? I'm really at square one. I know I have a gift. I know eventually once I get through the jitters of shyness, it's really going to come out, right? Yeah. It's all going to come out. But I need help, really, and so...
and you can be vulnerable in those situations when you find someone that you can trust. It's okay to be vulnerable and say, I need help. I need somebody that can show me the ropes. Will you help me? And sometimes you gotta, because you don't want to get attached to someone that may not mean you well. Like she said, there are a lot of snakes in the industry, people that will take advantage of you not knowing everything. So be prayerful in that if you're a spiritual person. But definitely, you want to find those people that are put in your life to be able to give you that constructive feedback.
Yeah. And I was going to say, I totally forgot because she started talking. I was like, yes. But the other analogy that I had thought about, because I dealt with this, like she said, there's snakes in the industry. There's snakes everywhere. But in the industry, you're going to face a lot of them, and you're not going to see it right offhand. So, but they'll see your potential. And I had asked this question in one of the meetings that I held before. I said, if a lion didn't know his own strength, do you think a gazelle would tell him? And
No.
obviously we know the answer. No.
No.
So do not rely on other people to tell you your purpose, because they will hold you back on purpose. Or don't rely on people to tell you pretty much how good you are.
That was good.
Don't rely on
TikTok.
Facts. Because they're gonna say, man, she's too good. There are people who are really like looking at you and they're like, man, you're gonna defeat me one day. Like, they just have this competition between you and them set in their head, and they're not gonna say anything. They're gonna be like, man, that was good, you killed it. But they have these little things that they're gonna do behind the scenes. You'll find out later that so don't rely on just like other people. Listen to yourself, pray, talk to God, talk to your mentors and everything. But there are some people out here that are going to be like, yeah, I want to work with you. We're going to work for free. We're going to do, I'm going to help you do artist development and everything. They will hold you back on purpose. So, 1, confidence is key. And 2, don't rely on other people to tell you that you're good.
And as far as like the niche, I'm just learning. For me, it's been so much pressure in anything, whether it's because there are certain products that I wanted to also build as far as that are affirmation based that would help as merch, with my artistry. But even that is like, well, what's your niche? What's your product niche? And what's your niche as an artist? But I'm just learning, because that's been a lot of pressure for me, and that stopped me.
Yeah.
Just be yourself. That verse about your gifts will make room for you. If you are, I think if you just be yourself, it will all sort of work out. I don't know, because that's what I've been battling as far as confidence. This journey has been really about getting me out of me, the real me out of me,
Yes.
And so, which is how I just found my way to Dearest, I guess. I've been fighting all along. I have the same story a lot of people have. You went to school for something and you were unhappy, and it's just, I knew there was something else, and I was spending my time, and I was like, God, I know this is not why I became an adult, how I was able to be blessed into adulthood, and I know this is not what all you have for me. So I think just really being true to who you are and not living a life based on other people's desires for you. Because the college road, that was more my parents, but it wasn't really what I wanted to do. But in a way, the dots always connect. Because of college, I came here to DFW. So had that not happened, I wouldn't have been in position to be here too. So it is about confidence, but I think that's all based into of just being who you are and allowing your gifts to make room.
And can I say this? So I know this one's not about God and everything, but I just gotta throw this out there for the believers. If it's on your heart, God put it there. If you have a desire on your heart, He gave that to you. And I've heard this. It's not mine. I wish it was. But God will give you. He will give you a gift that'll fulfill the need of someone. Or, let's see, how do I say this? God will give someone a desire only you can fulfill. And with that being said, you gotta believe what's on your heart. Allow that to come out. There's a lot of fighting yourself when it comes to an identity crisis. You fight the fact that you even want to do something. I've fought that, where it will send you into depression, and you'll have anxiety because you're fighting yourself every day, constantly just thinking about something. So with that, just know that if it's on your heart and it's a desire, then God put it there, and you have a need to fulfill for someone else. Only you can fulfill it. And if He's going to give you the desire, He's going to give you the provisions to get it done. So don't worry about it. That's just my tidbit. I just had to throw that in there because it kind of went with what you were saying.
Right. Don't sell yourself short, because just like she said, there's somebody out there that needs what you have. So just know that. And this, I hope this was helpful to you. We're going to come back with more tidbits and all that type of stuff, but I think this is a good place to wrap up. So I hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned for more. We'll be back with the Perfecting Your Craft podcast.